us all together. Lord, we gather in your name as children of a sovereign God. Forever we proclaim, to God be all glory.
Well, good morning. How you doing? It is Saturday, January the 31st, 2026. Welcome to episode 581 of The Thinking Theologian as we continue our journey through the scriptures. So today we read Exodus chapter 4 through 6. The title of today is Leaders' Hearts Are Revealed When Challenged. The local scriptures in Exodus chapter 5, verse 9. And this is what it says. It says, impose heavier work on the men. Then they will be occupied with it, not pay attention to deceptive words. And so I'm always amazed by how much the Bible talks about leadership. Over the past couple of years that I've been doing this and writing about it, just how much leadership is addressed, good leadership and bad leadership and what it looks like. But almost all of the issues always go back to the heart of the leader and how it affects other people. And so with that being said, challenges are necessary for growth for a leader. And if a leader isn't being challenged, then they're not really ever going to grow. And challenges are also necessary to see what type of leader you truly are to other people. So there are two things. It's one, the growth of the leader, but also to what type of leader you are. So I once witnessed a leader experience hardship that would break most people. However, instead of becoming bitter, angry, and hostile, this leader leaned into the Lord completely. The challenges they faced revealed just how close they were to the Lord. Every decision and reaction was full of grace. Every single person they encountered was treated with respect, even when it wasn't warranted. I got to see the heart of a true leader, a heart of a leader who cared about people and cared about showing people the fruit of the Spirit. In today's reading, Moses tells Pharaoh to let the people go. This way, they could worship and honor God. Unfortunately, Pharaoh became enraged and punished the Israelites for making such a request. He believed they had too much time on their hands. He believed their request needed to be punished. Pharaoh wanted to work them harder and give them less resources. He also wanted to show them that he was a leader who gave instruction. He didn't receive instruction. Now, I don't know if you've ever been around a bad leader, but they all have the same personality and character flaws. They believe their way is the only way to do things. They also believe you do what you're told and never ask questions. These same leaders act like they care, but in reality, they use people to achieve their ultimate goal, and that could be anything. Events and growth may happen at a major rate, but the foundation is built on a damaged heart. Bad leaders know how to build a coalition, but it revolves around obedience, not true leadership. So what the story about Pharaoh reveals is that you can be in a position of leadership and be successful. It doesn't mean that you have the hearts of the people. It also doesn't mean you lead in a way that pleases the Lord. Leaders with evil hearts don't listen to others. They also demand loyalty. A leader who doesn't listen to the people is no leader at all. When you don't listen to other people, you're no leader at all. And when you think you're always right, you're no leader at all. And everything has to run through you, you're no leader at all. The leader who wants to crush others, who act and think differently, are cowardly and spiteful. I mean, they just are. And I've seen that take place. They have hearts full of callousness and evil. And I know that sounds mean and it sounds harsh, but it's also true, because bad leaders get away with too much and people don't hold them account. And when they are held account, they usually play the victim and blame other people. And they'll say, well, they didn't do what they were told. They weren't basically everything gets switched around. There's no ever ownership of what's happening, what's going on. And so my challenge to you today is to find out what type of leader you are at home, at work, and at church. Do you have to push the people, or do they follow? If you're pushing people or demanding loyalty and demanding leadership, you're not a leader. Or do people just naturally want to follow what you're doing in the direction you're going? Does your heart love everyone? If you're a leader and you don't love everybody, even the people who annoy you and aggravate you, then you're not a leader. Even the person who doesn't do what you say, do you love the person who doesn't do what you say? If not, you're not a leader. You're a dictator. That's what you are. Who wants to punish those you can't control. You're just like Pharaoh, who wants to punish people for being who God created him to be in this world. That's what Pharaoh was doing. He's like, I don't care who your God is or what you want to do. I'm not going to let you go do it. And so bad leadership and challenges you face, because Pharaoh is facing a challenge of people wanting to go and worship for a couple of days. He's like, I'm not going to do it because you're not doing what I'm telling you to do. And if you don't do what I tell you to do, I'm going to make your life miserable. And I can tell you from personal experience, I have personally experienced that. And it was a horrific, I've only ever experienced it once. And it was a horrific experience on numerous levels. The leader thought they were a good leader. They thought they were actually exceptional at leadership, but they weren't. People weren't following. They demanded loyalty. And if you didn't give them loyalty or you question anything, this person would literally say that you're an enemy, and they had no use for you. Do what you're told. Don't have thoughts or opinions. And the only people that were able to have anything were people who were 100% loyal and didn't question. And this person, even behind closed doors, would say, he would say publicly one thing about how they loved and cared and wanted to be involved with other people. But behind closed doors, they would talk about how dumb the people were and how incapable they are of doing anything. And he was the only way that they could be led from where they were. He even compared himself to Moses, that he was the only one who could lead people out of the wilderness. And with that, the leadership was manipulated because this person had a heart that was not in tune with God, but was in tune with what they wanted to do. And so I say that, so your hearts are revealed when challenged. And in this particular leader, whenever he was challenged, the heart was revealed, and it was revealed in horrible ways, with anger and bitterness and vile and condescending and just viciousness. He would go after people if they were challenged at all. And so ask yourself, what type of leader are you when you're challenged? Are you one who shows the love of God? Or are you one who goes after people who do not think and act and do things just the way you are? Good leadership is about adjusting on the fly and knowing and empowering people to do things. God, who had all authority, led in a way that gave people the authority and the power to do what they were called to do in the unique setting and the personality they were. And so if you're not willing to do that, then examine what's going on in your heart and life and find out why you are that way. And you may want to examine, have you had a changed heart and a changed life, and are you a believer? Because you can be leading as Pharaoh was, an unbeliever, and be successful, have millions of people, accomplish many things, but doesn't mean you're a good leader who should be in leadership. And so tomorrow we'll be in Exodus chapter 7 through 9. Thank you for being with us today. Have a good day, and I will see you then. Goodbye.